You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this is our pick show for Week 12. 75% of the season, roughly.
Ugh. We only got 5 weeks left of the real football till the playoffs start.
The playoffs are.
Yes. But we've only got a couple of months left.
Yeah.
Really, because there's 2 weeks in between the Super Bowl and the championship games. We've got 8 weeks left, people. Enjoy it. Don't take it for granted.
No.
Like your significant other. No.
All right. Let's get right into the games.
Well, that's always what they say, right? That the football widows and all that. That's just a little joke.
Okay. Thursday night, we have KC -7 at Oakland. We don't bet Thursday games.
If we were to bet a Thursday game, this would be one.
Yeah.
But long flight, short week. Fuck, these games are just weird. And I know Buffalo didn't fly far, but they favor the home teams for whatever reason, barring utter historical quarterback collapse a la Andy Dalton in Cincinnati.
Thank
the home
you,
team
redhead.
win. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, no.
They go into New Orleans a week after that and beat New Orleans 27-10.
Cincy in prime time. I think Marv Lewis is like 0 for forever. 0 for 900. Numbers are approximate, but primetime playoffs, Marv Lewis stinks. And Dalton does as well. But, yeah, I mean, I think we're both on KC here.
Yes.
Oakland, as a team that looks like they could go 0-16, I expected, if they'd shown any real gumption at all, they would have beaten San Diego last weekend. They were just terrible.
And you said their offensive line was terrible in our recap show. And Kansas City has one of the best pass rushes in football right now. It could be ugly. This could be over by the half.
And we kind of like Carr, but he looked terrible. They didn't even look interested, and it was a very winnable game.
It wouldn't surprise me if this game was close. I don't know. These divisional games, like Oakland's covered against San Diego twice.
Yeah. And KC's probably looking ahead a little bit, and they're just coming off a huge victory. This is a stay away.
Yeah, the physical game against Seattle, long flight. Ugh. Yeah, they'll be flying to Oakland tomorrow. So you basically get a day and a half of practice.
Very physical game. Statement game for KC. You know, I'm still taking KC.
Me too.
Just on, if I hadn't watched Oakland last week, I might have taken Oakland on the flyer. This is a kitchen sink game in a team in, I guess, a trap situation, if that exists, but I'm still taking KC.
Yep, ditto.
But I don't want to bet it. Next game up, we have Cincy +1 at Houston.
I don't want to bet this one either.
I don't hate it.
Oh, who are you thinking?
Cincy.
That defense in Houston was fucking unreal.
Cushing did play well.
JJ
and that's
Watt's
been kind of missed. Oh, JJ Watt's unbelievable. And he finally got some support from one other player on the defense. I do think Cincy's better than Cleveland. You're right to not want to bet it. I'm taking Cincy, though. I think Mallett, so many times when a quarterback has never played in the league, the week after anyone gets film on them, they get destroyed. Yeah. You know, everyone looks like the savior in their first game in. Week 2 is usually not so friendly to them. So for that reason, I am all over Cincy on this.
Yeah, I'll take Cincy here too.
Though that said, I do think Mallet is a much better option than Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
We thought it would be a downgrade and he'd be a little frightened, but as we discussed in the recap show, we were.
It makes you wonder why it took him so long.
Yeah, because did you ever think Fitzpatrick was the answer?
That never worked. Signing that veteran scrub quarterback just to limp dick you through a season, it never works. Ever. Ever, 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 ever.
Gopher. That's all I have to say. But
okay. Well,
once.
Houston has one player that could have played on that defense, so next.
All right. Next game up, Cleveland +3 at Atlanta. I want no part of this.
No. Although I will take Atlanta in this game. Although Josh Gordon's coming back this week.
Yeah, he's been gone an awfully long time. I'm taking Atlanta as well. They're playing marginally better. I have no idea what Cleveland is. I would love to see them lose. Because if they lose out, we still win our bet on the under.
I know, when they did it a couple of years ago, they got right to the number and then lost.
Yeah. So we can hope that the City of Light, City of Magic continues their magic. I think they have a good chance to win this, but this is the definition of two shitty teams. Cleveland just happens to be a shitty team with an oddly misleading record.
Well, I don't know how they beat Pittsburgh
and blew them out.
27-3.
Yeah.
Played Baltimore tough. Beat Cincinnati like a drum in Cincinnati. And just to say it again, we're
going to lose this bet. We're going to lose this bet. But I still really don't think Cleveland's good. And I still think it was a little bit surprising that they just cut Tate. You think he would be some kind of, like, they didn't save any money.
No, but wasn't he complaining about his role and
Well, if you can't deal with one player mouthing off.
No, but it's never.
The coaching staff is already collapsing there. No, if you're so insecure.
No, but look what happened. Carolina cut a receiver today. They cut Avant for questioning the coaches. Pittsburgh cut Blount for basically the same thing. He left the game early, or left the field early in Tennessee.
Yeah, did he actually shower and get in a car?
I don't know.
That's the way I like to imagine it.
Me too.
Just walking off the sideline.
Well, my guess is if he left early on the field, he would stick around in the locker room for the repercussions after.
Yeah, and it's just a much better mental picture. That's the way I've wanted to see that. And
there's talk of the Colts having interest in Tate. Why wouldn't you go get Blount, too? Why wouldn't you look at him?
Well, just for depth, I could see New England signing Blount back.
Yeah?
It's like you learned that the grass is not greener on the other side of the fence.
So we're both taking Atlanta in that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, we have Detroit +6.5 at New England.
I don't know what.
Spread's a little high. I don't want to bet it.
Do you really think it's high?
Yeah, I do. I don't think New England treats Detroit seriously. I think, they destroyed Denver. They destroyed Indy. I see letdown potential here. Detroit's defense is much better than either Denver's or Indy's defense, certainly Indy's defense. Detroit does nothing on offense. Like, they did literally fuck nothing on offense against Arizona, and that game was still tight.
Yeah, but are you going to stop Gronkowski?
What they can do that I don't think Denver or Indy could do is, with 4 people, they can put pressure on Brady. And I still have in the back of my head those mental pictures of those 2 picks, which were a direct result. I've never seen Brady shirk from contact the way I did last week.
But, no, I know Detroit fucks this all the time, but Brady at home, let's keep this in the mix a little.
Okay, I'll take that on your recommend, but I do think 6.5 is too much.
Detroit can't run the ball. New England has Revis to cover Calvin Johnson. He's still not 100%. And I don't know if Golden Tate has much.
Golden Tate was still solid against Arizona, but Stafford was terrible, which is valid. But Stafford, and he's been terrible for about 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely come back to this.
They're scoring 20 at home.
Against arguably the best defense in football. I know. I don't like laying 6.5. Oh, yeah, you're more on Detroit than I am. And I see this as almost a letdown game.
For who?
New England.
No, they can't afford to.
They kind of can now. Denver losing really changed the whole AFC race.
Not really.
The only team that's chasing them is Miami.
No. Kansas City's only a game behind, and they've got a win over them. There's no letdown for New England. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. Okay. That one's definitely in the mix then. You're swaying me on it.
They get Miami again, though, too. New England.
Yeah.
They don't get Kansas City again. And Kansas City, what's their last tough game? Denver?
Yeah.
Let me pull
maybe San Diego, just because. No, that's fits into your whole divisional weirdness thing.
If it was in San Diego, I'd say yes. And the way you described San Diego.
Yeah, which, if you listen to the recap show, I'm not high. I'm not buying San Diego right now.
That'd be a first podcast in a while. No.
That's after the podcast did.
Okay, they have Arizona. They're at Arizona in December, Kansas City, and they're at Pittsburgh. But they've got Oakland, Denver, Arizona, Oakland, Pittsburgh, San Diego. 3 on the road. But Arizona and Pittsburgh on the road, that should be tough. But
6.5 seems a little high, but it's definitely in the mix.
Yeah. If it was 7.5, I'd totally throw it out.
Yeah.
But
well, and this is rare because I haven't been that high on Detroit.
No, and they haven't done
we're kind of doing the opposite things here, where I'm sort of believing in Detroit more than you.
Well, it's not so much.
I mean, a 1-point win over Atlanta, a fluky fourth quarter comeback at home against New Orleans. Your case is percolating here.
And the last minute win against Miami. They only put up 20 points in that game too.
Yeah, and did lose to Buffalo at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
17-4. They're just not scoring points. I don't think they can score enough.
No.
And the point production I thought would go up with Calvin Johnson. They scored 26 points the last 2 games with him.
Well, the wild card in this, though, is neither of the two teams, New England, in their beatdowns of Denver and Indy, could generate pressure with 4 people. And that's Detroit's strength. So it's a bit of my worry. But yeah, it definitely could end up being something we bet on here.
Yeah.
Next game up, we have Green Bay minus 9.5 at Minnesota.
Nope.
No, I don't want it.
Too many points. If you listen to the recap show.
I love Green Bay. You don't. Minnesota looked appalling. I
don't mind Green Bay. On the road, Minnesota still has a decent defense. You've been saying that all year. I'm starting to come around. It's just too many points.
Yeah.
Don't know what the weather's going to be like. It could be colder than a bitch.
And this sort of applies to New England as well, but the last couple of teams who've destroyed 2 opponents in a row fucking shit the bed the next week.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Indy.
Yeah.
9.5 is this season of mediocrity. Cue your timer to talk about how shitty the league is, but
yeah.
But in this year of mediocrity, I don't like laying 9.5.
No. I will take Green Bay even saying all that.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't want to bet on it. I'll give it up in our picks challenge. I don't want to give up money on it, though.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Even though I almost felt like just taking all dogs this week. Just fuck it. Because God only knows what's going to happen in this shitty league.
Yeah, but the week before, I went 11-2, and it was all favorites.
Yeah.
That won. So, yeah, figure it out.
Next up, coming off their bye, ready to fight, the Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 13.5 at Indy.
Now, I'm just going to look up the last couple of years of Jacksonville, Indy, because I know
we laid 8.5 one time, and we thought that was like the best price we ever got in a bet.
But it's different in Indy. Jacksonville plays them like a kitchen sink game in these games. I'm just looking at their... Oh, they lost 30-10 last year. So it wasn't last year. It was 2012, 2011, something like that. I'm just looking it up.
I think that was fairly early, and I think we had Indy on that.
22-17 in 2012 in Indy. And 2011, they won 17-3. So 2 out of the last 3 years they've covered or won outright in Indy after getting blown out at home.
I hope you're not advocating
we're not betting
on this.
Game.
Okay.
We're not betting this game, but I'm taking Jacksonville.
Are you? Okay.
Yep. Fuck, 14 points? Too much?
I think it's a reeling Indy team that...
No running back. No running back.
Oh, and they're just going to chuck and duck. One thing Jacksonville does fairly well is rush the passer. I'm still going to take Indy. I think this is a humiliation game. I'm going on the team humiliated in primetime. Covers the following week.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
And their defense is bad against the pass. And if Jacksonville has one thing, they have some decent wideouts.
If I were a member of the Jaguars, I might have just stayed in London. Europe's an interesting continent.
They play Indy tough in Indy for whatever reason.
See, and that's your division, so you know more about that than I do. But
I just set the scores. 2 out of the last 3 years, Indy won by 5 and got beat 17-3.
Yeah. Only one of those was a luck year, but fair enough.
Oh, this is his 3rd year. Oh, yeah, one of those was a luck year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Next up, we have the Jets plus 4.5 at Buffalo.
This game's going to be 3-0. They've had 5 feet of snow in Buffalo this week.
I think it'll be a 9-3 game. Unless we bet the under.
But it's only 39.5.
Yeah.
That's not a bad bet, actually.
I'll put it down.
It's crazy there.
Buffalo's defense, both teams have something to speak of on defense. The Jets' weakness is their secondary, and Buffalo has Kyle Orton at quarterback.
But they're not.
I call that a wash, right?
They're not
exactly.
Be throwing.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying. So that's a wash. You're seeing strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness. I like the under.
Here's where having Sammy Watkins on your fantasy team blows. You got a great wide receiver that's going to play half his games in Buffalo.
And getting thrown to by Kyle Orton.
But in this weather, you can't
fucking
throw.
awful.
I know Kelly used to, but
Kelly was kind of special. Yeah, I know he never won a Super Bowl, but he was a hell of a fucking quarterback.
So,
I'm going to take the dog here.
Me too. The Bills' running game.
I think Buffalo's got to be demoralized by that Miami game where they were relevant prior to that, and now they're done.
Well,
not quite mathematically, but they are just flat out done.
No, but in this weather, when both your running backs are hurt, Spiller and Jackson.
Well, Freddie Jackson says he's going to come back.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He was hurt.
And it was groin, too. And do you really want to send a guy with a lingering groin issue out into snow or the cold?
No,
when your season's kind of done.
Nobody's going to throw in this game. Vic can run. Yeah, give me the Jets. I can't believe I'm taking a 2-8 team. And
I kind of like Buffalo. I think they got pieces, but something's wrong there. Something's wrong in Buffalo.
And this weather, it's 7-3, 6-3. Wouldn't surprise me. Watch, it'll be 30-24. But 5 feet of snow, I don't know. They're advising people to stay home. Just don't go on the roads if you don't. It's just crazy.
It's still 5 days away, so weather after 3 days is not.
You should seen the fucking satellite picture. And if you go online, you got to see this picture. It looks like a wall of, the sandstorms you see in the Middle East?
Yeah.
They've got a picture of the snow moving into Buffalo off the lake. It looks like a wall of sand coming at you, only it's white. It's fucking the most incredible picture I've ever seen.
That said, it's Tuesday. I mean,
it's still going to be fucking cold.
Yes. So, yeah, I like the Jets in this, and let's consider the under if we can't find anything.
That's a long way away, but okay. Yeah. I'll humor you.
I think we'll find more
for now
because I do like the under in this game.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tampa Bay plus 5.5 at Chicago.
Oh, I love this game.
Really?
Don't you?
Who?
No, I'm just fucking with you. No. Okay. You couldn't pay me to watch this game, let alone bet on it. But that being said, I'll take Chicago at home.
Yeah, they got their first home victory. They're talented. Cutler's terrible.
Yeah, but Tampa's terrible too. The only bright spot's Mike Evans.
Yeah, and 5.5 seems like a lot. I might switch to Tampa by the end of this.
But what's Tampa showing you? I just taken the home team. Like, Washington's terrible. RG3's going to get cut. They're not paying him $18 million next year. No fucking way.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has been... They've only lost by more than 7 twice this year.
Well, this will be number 3.
Okay. And you know what? I'm switching right now to Tampa Bay.
All right. Now... Oh, I had a good point. Now it's just went out of my head. Oh, well.
Tampa Bay has, strangely enough, been in a lot of their games this year. They're just terrible and can't win.
No.
Okay. Next game up, we cannot bet. Tennessee plus 11 at Philly.
And I know if you listen to the recap show, all the problems I pointed out with the Titans. Can't stop the run. Can't do much of anything defensively, although I'm taking Tennessee on one reason only. We're blitzing the fuck out of teams, and we shut down the passing game against Pittsburgh.
You're really blitzing that much? Okay, you didn't really mention that.
We blitzed all the fucking time. Well, how do you think we had 5 sacks on Roethlisberger running a 3-4? It was blitz. Fuck, we were sending 5-6 guys every play.
Yeah, that's a fairly logical statement.
So I'm taking Tennessee to cover for one of the first times all year. 11's too much with the way Sanchez played against Green Bay's defense, and we kept Pittsburgh to 20. We scored 24 against Pittsburgh. Their offensive line's better than Philadelphia's. Philly's had trouble running the ball almost all year outside of a couple of games. And Sanchez at quarterback. I can't believe I took him +5 in fucking Green Bay. I'm taking Tennessee +11. Too many points.
And I'm taking Philly. Your run defense was not good in what I saw. This might be the game McCoy comes through. And Philly's defense, I genuinely think, is a lot better than Pittsburgh's defense.
See, but here's where what I've been saying it runs into 2 points that I've been saying. Quarterback ego and keeping them happy, and coaches wanting to prove that my system works. So I don't think they stop throwing the ball against Tennessee. I don't think they'll focus on the run like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh even got away from it. First drive, they ran Bell the whole drive and got a field goal. Then they kind of went away from him after that. They sprinkled him in until the last half of the third quarter and the fourth. He wasn't a factor.
But in this case, though, it's Sanchez who, if they tell him to hand off the ball 75 times, he's going to go, yes, sir. Because he knows the $1 million paychecks go away if he can't afford to have an ego in this game.
No, but Chip Kelly can. And that's where it comes into play.
Yeah, but as you discussed last year, Chip Kelly's offense is more predicated on running the ball. Everyone thinks it's pass happy, but it's all about the run. That's why the offense has struggled this year.
It hasn't been predicated on the run this year at all. And that's where I think he thinks his passing system is better than whatever else is going on in the league.
And the other thing I'll say about this is, as you said, your rival was Pittsburgh. That was Tennessee's Super Bowl, so to speak, though I hate that fucking phrase that they used with Oakland and Denver. I'm going to reuse it. I think Tennessee poured everything into that Pittsburgh game, came up short, and I think Tennessee is a team on the verge of completely losing it, so I'm taking Philly.
All right. Fair points, but 11 points is too much.
It's high. But Philly tends to win by a whole bunch or lose by a whole bunch.
Well, they haven't really. Who have they blown out?
Carolina absolutely destroyed them. The Giants absolutely crushed them. There's been a few.
Couple. They also almost lost to St. Louis after being up 27. And Tennessee's putting some points up, so they kind of opened up the playbook a little. That's what killed me last night watching that game, was the fucking that they throttled back the offense in the third and fourth quarter, which I'd never understand. But okay,
Okay, betting against Tennessee has been a pretty solid play for me this year, so I'm sticking with it.
Me too, but I got to go. It's too many points.
Okay. Next up, Arizona plus 6.5 at Seattle.
This is interesting.
It is.
I wouldn't mind making a money line bet on this one.
If we're going to bet it, it's going to be the money line.
Do you actually think Seattle's 6.5 points better than Arizona, the way they've played?
Oh, man, this is the debate. This is a really challenging game.
Arizona beat Seattle last year in Seattle.
Arians, and we didn't discuss this in the recap, and I almost wanted to bring it up. Mike Tomlin drove Arians out of Pittsburgh, obviously because he didn't want anyone who could take his job.
Yep.
Arians has turned into one of the finest head coaches in the league.
Well, Indy's not the same team this year once he left there.
No. He won Coach of the Year as an assistant, taking over for Cancer Man. And everything I read in the offseason, all of that, is his players will die for him. They absolutely love him. Do you ever hear a shred of discord coming out of Arizona?
No.
I don't. Do we have big enough balls to go money line on this?
Yes.
All right.
I do. Do you?
Yeah. Why not? It's a high payout. If we lose it, fine. If we lose it in the number, well,
okay.
I guess maybe we shouldn't get so fucking cocky. But you know what? I like this bet on the money line.
Okay. Let's just break this game down a little more. If we're gonna go,
yes. Yeah, we're speaking in subtext because we're already communicating. Let's actually speak.
Now, when has a 9-1 team been this big of an underdog to a 6-4 team who hasn't looked particularly great at all this year, outside of week 1 against Green Bay? They've looked mediocre. Now, for all the talk of Russell Wilson being this fucking next great quarterback, 1 game above 500 on the road, 19-2 at home. One of those losses is to Arizona. 1 loss is to Dallas this year already. And Arizona has, if you're looking at it as a league this year, has the type of defense Seattle had last year. They're dominating like Seattle's defense did last year.
That secondary's playing ridiculous. So that's
Seattle.
So what does Arizona have to do? They have to shut down Marshawn Lynch, and they have to contain Russell Wilson.
And Kansas City did that.
Okay, can I propose a radical strategy?
What's that?
We put 10 and the points and 10 on the money line. It's kind of a single game hedge. Yes, it's throwing a lot at this game.
I don't mind it. Let's see what else we got.
Okay, I'm going to double arrow that one.
Yeah, let's just, I don't mind it.
Okay.
But if we can find some value.
Your breakdown right
else,
there. Have we ever seen a bigger underdog from a 1-loss team who has beaten quality opposition? It's not like Arizona has wandered through the AFC or the NFC South this year.
No.
And just collected wins against hapless opponents. They struggled with St. Louis, but that struggle actually looks a little more impressive based on what the Rams have done lately.
Yeah. I'm just going back. I want to see what Jamal Charles had. 159 yards rushing. Arizona has Andre Ellington, who can run the ball. The Seahawks are not the. I don't understand.
Being hurt on the line in the Seahawks too took away one of their great strengths.
Well,
which was never
hurt.
Having to have the linebackers cluster to the line because their defensive line could handle most running backs.
Yeah, and they lost Membane for the year. They're hurting on the defensive side of the ball right now. I
Offensively, they look
game.
like the early Baltimore.
Like, I know Kansas City has a good team. They almost won that game, Seattle. But right now, as a complete team, Arizona's the best team in football right now. And both, like, combining the whole team. They can win with defense. Their wide receivers are playing well. They have top-flight running back. And the defense is fantastic.
And Marshawn Lynch put on a huge game on the Giants. Seattle was struggling with the Giants.
And he did nothing.
San Diego...
Week, did he?
Lynch?
I don't think he had a big game.
I think he was marginal. Marginal to okay.
20 carries for Charles, 159 yards, 8 yards a carry.
We might have to make an extra bet this week, but...
Okay, just let me have a look. Oh, Lynch had 24 for $124.
Yeah, he was decent. But he also got stuffed on a 4th and goal and a 4th and 1.
Yeah,
which might have just been bad coaching. But
I love Arizona in this game.
Okay. That's interesting. We may double bet that. Even if it costs us an extra $10, we might have to play that play.
Like, I don't mind Stanton at quarterback just as well as that defense is playing.
Well, I said that last week, that if you really look at Stanton's numbers, they're fucking near identical to Palmer's. It's not a huge drop. No. He's not good, and neither was Carson, really.
And their defense is going to keep him in the game. And Wilson, I've never been a fan. He hasn't really done anything this year to dissuade me. That everybody crowning him last year as this next up-and-coming great quarterback in the league. Doesn't look it. They haven't, outside of that first game this year, struggled in Carolina again, last-minute touchdown to win that.
The one thing, and has Arizona played a truly mobile quarterback? San Francisco. How did Arizona do against San Francisco?
What week was that, 2?
Yeah, they've got to have played him once.
Yeah, they played him, wasn't it week 2? I think. Just let me look at the score here. Well, they picked Kaepernick a couple of times. I know that.
Wasn't even playing that well at that stage.
That was the Giants week 2. It must have been week 3. It was early in the season.
Yeah. No, we're going to be placing some combination of bets on this game.
Let's see the box score. Kaepernick, 12 rushes, 54 yards.
That's my one worry on this.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
No, it's not bad for when he did run it 12 times. Wilson
had 70 yards rushing against the Chiefs this week.
And
he's not getting that against... Arizona's a better defense than that. Every challenge they've had, and they were in that Denver game they lost until Stanton got hurt. They were within a touchdown when Stanton went.
Oh, yeah. I've brought that up many times, that they brought in their project quarterback who was never supposed to see the field.
Yeah, so...
We're going to be betting on this in some way. We'll figure that out at the end.
Yeah.
Next game up, we can't bet on. It is the Rams, plus 4.5 at San Diego. Take the points, people.
Yeah, the Rams, I don't...
They're not good, but San Diego was awful. It had a little to do with the quarterback. They're blitzing. A team that had 5 sacks in their first 6 games, the worst number in NFL history, back to when sacks were accounted for, suddenly has something like 20 in the last 4. San Diego's offensive line is awful. Fluker, who had a great rookie season last year, might as well just be taking tickets on the right side of the line. King Dunlap, I only ever notice him when he's taking yet another flag. It's not good. Nothing looked good about San Diego. I think they've realized they were playing above their heads. There's a lot of talent on that team, but there aren't enough supporting players. You know, one person in a kick line in the Rockettes ruins the whole performance.
Yeah, I'm going to take St. Louis here too. I
4.5.
think Rivers is hurt.
San Diego should not be favored. We said it last week about the Raiders when they were favored by 10. And this was it's a winless team. How are we still favored by 4.5? This is a great bet, people. Take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. And my only reason for taking the Rams is if Gates comes out and says he has a severe rib injury, I believe it. That's not conjecture coming from him. They're trying to backtrack now and say he doesn't.
The only thing I can think he was trying to say was to disguise the fact that he might have a severe knee injury after a low hit in that Raiders game.
No, I bet you he's dealing with that rib injury from before. Like he was in the MVP conversation for the first 5 or 6 weeks.
And he's a smart guy and a really good quarterback.
Yeah, and it's gone south since.
Yeah, his accuracy went from close to 70 down to around 58 right now.
So something's up
Something's
there. So I'm
wrong,
taking St. Louis.
Yeah. No, and I think this is a great bet for listeners. Like, no, we don't do that. I just might be down on them, but I mean, it was horrible even watching that football game. I'm recommending to the listeners, take the Rams.
They can win by a field goal, and we still cover, and then both are happy.
Yeah, no, we got other bets. Next game up, Miami +7 at Denver.
Can I just bet this game is a push? In my pick challenge?
Yes, you can. Actually, you probably could bet this as margin of victory 7 by Denver and get some nice odds.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet this. I don't want to bet Denver, though I think
Miami's defense could keep it within 7. They have a pass rush as well.
Yep.
And
they have a better pass rush, in which it usually only involves 5 players at tops.
Now, Denver might be without their tight end and one of their wide receivers. And they have no running game. Hillman's out, Ball's out. They have, what was his name? I said it.
O.J. Anderson.
And so you have Welker and
Demaryius Thomas. Tammy at tight end.
Yeah. So
I was a little surprised to see this on the board, to be honest.
Sanders, well, I saw the hit. If Delaney Walker doesn't come back, I don't know how Sanders comes back after a week.
Is there just so much action on Peyton games? Don't you think usually when your top tight end and your most productive, like your slot receiver who's turned into your most productive receiver, are both, their status is unknown? Isn't this usually pulled from the board?
You would think.
For that reason alone, I just want to stay away. Like, I don't think we want to bet this. I'm all over Miami.
Yeah, me too. But oh, fuck.
You can change this. I'm a big Miami booster right now.
That does just wait. Put me down for decide at the end.
Okay.
I got to think about that one in the back of my head.
Okay. Everything about Miami, you know who they remind me of is Arizona.
But it's just Tannehill scares me. He's hot and cold.
But he's been nothing but hot since that London game. I don't know if he's such a stupid person that amateur manipulation by Regis Philbin or whoever the coach is there. If that worked, but he has really not had a poor game since then.
No.
The numbers are fucking sick since then.
I know, but that's why I'm saying come back to me on that one.
Okay. Next game up, we have Washington +9 at the Niners. I don't bet the Niners. We're not betting this.
No. Yeah, they were lucky to win that game against the Giants.
Yeah. What you said about Wilson, just ditto that and apply it to Kaepernick.
Yeah, he looks awful.
Yeah. We had this debate, and it turns out we were both right. You know, we got into this pretty heated last year about Kaepernick versus Wilson. Turns out they both suck.
Yep.
It was just wasted oxygen on our part.
Yes, and I'll admit I was wrong on Kaepernick.
And I'll admit I was wrong on Wilson. Though I never actually said Wilson was good. I just said he was the same thing as fucking Kaepernick. And vice versa to you.
But Wilson did get a little more hype.
Only because he won the Super Bowl. Kaepernick, everyone still wants to suck his dick.
Their defense won the Super Bowl. Let's just say that.
The Niners did everything they could do to lose that game against the Giants.
Yeah.
And the Giants were just so inept.
And the New Orleans game.
Yeah. Amazing. Like, they're not a good team right now. Alden Smith has helped a little.
Yeah, but then Ahmad Brooks pulls himself from the game because he doesn't want to split time. Second half, he didn't play. So that team's imploding. Yeah. Harbaugh's gone at the end of the year. It's a fucking shit show. And they're going to win the game. But I can't bet on this. I'm taking the Niners, though. Washington's just fucking awful.
And, yeah, Washington's awful, though I do think this RG3 thing is ridiculous.
It's hilarious, though, that all three quarterbacks from that draft, Kaepernick was a year before.
Yeah. But
Wilson and RG3 suck.
Yeah, though he got ripped on that, I don't know.
Who got ripped?
I think RG3 didn't say anything that particularly wrong.
No, but as a quarterback, he can't say fucking anything.
Yeah, whatever. But I guess now there are the haters, the mythical haters who said he could never do it.
Well, that was
used
me.
To like to tweet about.
That was me.
Oh, you were one. You were a hater.
Well, okay. I said it from the beginning. Did I not?
Yes, no, but whatever. No one was that against you, but now they are. So good money spent in your logo. It'll be adorning refugee victims in the future.
And it has,
as your overprinted T-shirts are given to Hurricane Aid.
My dislike for quarterbacks is style. The running quarterback has never proven to do any. They've tried to take these quarterbacks from college that run the read option and make it into an NFL offense. It just doesn't work. I don't know why it can't translate. It translates for games and plays here and there, but it just doesn't work. long term. And they try and turn them into a conventional quarterback. That doesn't work because that wasn't their strength. When your athletic ability is greater than the competition you're playing against, it looks fantastic in college. In the pros where they all run as fast as you sideline to sideline, it doesn't look so good.
Especially if you're undersized.
And they don't have the speed of Michael Vick.
I distrust this Niners team so much, I'm going to take Washington on a flyer. I don't like either of these teams. I don't like anyone involved in this game.
I'm taking it based on the Niners' defense against RG3. He put up no points against Tampa Bay at home. Well, and they were a one-win team coming in. He's doing fuck all against that Niners D.
Yeah.
The Niners D won him the game in New York with 5 picks. They're going to cover this game because of their D.
I'm looking around for a coin to flip on this shit.
They practice against RG3, basically, with Kaepernick.
Okay, I'm hauling out a coin. Lucky penny. Heads, because of San Francisco's great history with LSD, is the Niners. It's tails, so I'm sticking with Washington, because I have no opinion. All right. Next game up, Dallas -3 at the Giants. I think we both like this one.
Yes, we do. The Giants are horrible. Dallas is going to run the ball down their throat.
And I give no credibility to the fact that the Niners struggled with the Giants, as we just discussed. And Dallas, this is their chance. They can seize it right now. This is a divisional game. They have to win. As we've discussed, divisional games are weirdness. But they're coming off a bye. They're facing an absolutely hapless Giants team.
The only thing that gives me pause here is how is this only 3?
Do you think it gets into the fishy realm?
Well, that's kind of... You have a team that just came off a 5-pick performance, scored 10 points, has been shut out by Philly, hasn't looked good. The only highlights I seen were catches receivers had to make of Eli Manning throws that were ridiculous.
Couple of drops by Donnell, who's probably the bright spot of the entire Giants team.
Well, Beckham is good too.
Yeah, Beckham's really good.
But it seems,
and it's being played in Jersey again.
Fishy. The line seems...
The last fishy line we walked into was also played in the swamps of New Jersey.
But I can't, no.
We're definitely marking it.
Yeah, Sunday night game, I can't see the Giants putting up any kind of fight in this. Like, this is basically 6 points when you take out the home field, so it's not the automatic 3 for home field. So...
Well, yeah, it's... Okay, so on a neutral field, it would be Dallas -6. In Dallas, it would be -9.
Yeah.
I still think Dallas is a legitimate -9.
Yeah.
Over this Giants team.
How are they stopping Murray? How are they stopping Des Bryant? Nah. We'll be betting on this game.
Yeah. So you've put a thought in my head about the fishy line in New Jersey.
No, there's a fishier line coming up next.
Baltimore +3 at New Orleans, our final game of the week.
That's a fucking fishy line. This just goes to show you what the league is now. You have a 4-6 team that put up 10 points against Cincinnati at home. At home against a 6-4 team, and they're still favored.
Which is like a top 5 DVOA team in Baltimore, who with one breakdown in the secondary, I still think is a pretty solid overall team with Baltimore.
But they have their Did they get any of their defensive players back?
Baltimore?
Secondary, yes.
No, the only player you have to worry about in Baltimore's secondary is Jimmy Smith, and he's gone for the year.
I'm taking
everybody else is average.
I'm taking New Orleans.
I'm taking Baltimore because I still think they're a good team, but
they are a good team, but with their secondary is weak now. It is.
Well, Jimmy Smith, when you lose that top cornerback, and he really was, he was looking like a Peterson, Hayden, Revis type. Him being gone has absolutely decimated this team, so.
Like, Tennessee was with him for 3 quarters. In Baltimore.
Yeah.
They don't look...
I don't like their offense a whole bunch.
No. And without Smith, their defensive secondary's in trouble, too. Just like Pittsburgh's. So, I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah, taking the home dog on a Monday night. Though, I was reading a number tonight that the home dogs in primetime games have not covered since 2012.
Home dog or home favorite?
Home dog.
Oh, they're a home favorite, though.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
So what was the stat, though? Home dog has covered?
Has not covered in primetime games since 2012.
Huh. Well, Tennessee did.
This was written...
I know. I'm just saying, just for the people out there.
Hey,
Tennessee
nice.
just covered last night.
Well done, Tennessee. Way to break the trend.
Yeah, fuck. But...
Okay, we got to decide on some bets. The
okay,
under...
Let me do my Denver pick. Wasn't it? Wasn't that the one I had to make?
Yes, you had Miami, Denver.
Denver.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's going to end up being a push, but I'll take Denver.
And I actually don't have us on Detroit, New England, because we may split on that. I haven't written down either of our choices that.
I'm taking New England.
Okay. Well, let's just say I don't want to bet that.
Okay.
Let's start with what we want to bet. We're going to take Dallas laying 3 to the Giants. I think that's a given.
Yeah. So we have Dallas -3 in the swamps of the Meadowlands.
The corrupt, stinky swamps of the Meadowlands.
$10 pays 18.
Wow. Wow, we are paying a price on that.
Yeah. The only reason this is 3 is it's a divisional game, prime time, and Cowboys, it's weird things happen.
And plus they are laying 10 points on the price. We're paying this at a 20-cent line.
Yeah.
So they're just shading it. Everyone is on Dallas. The bets must be like 95%. Okay.
And 3's not enough to fade the public.
No, it's not when they refuse to move the line, but if we lose this one, this is the fishy line game that...
Okay, can you figure this out in anything that's going on with the lines? When New England's a 3-point dog in Indy last week, and the Cowboys are only 3-point favorites to the Giants?
New Jersey.
Doesn't make any sense.
Boardwalk Empire, baby.
Okay.
We probably don't want the Cincy-Houston game, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Does that just leave us with Arizona?
Well, no, there's the Detroit-New England, and you made a great argument. I'm going to let you sway me on this one, Boyd, because usually...
I would rather not put $20 on one game.
Well, I was thinking about betting 40 this week.
Well, we could. But that's just akin to betting a parlay, though, to me. You know what I mean?
We like Arizona a lot.
No, but we're getting a good enough price. We're doubling our money, tripling our money anyway. And if we're wrong...
But if we fall into that 3 zone...
Well, then I would rather bet at just taking the points.
Let's just take the points then.
Okay. Because it's about winning bets.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. I was overthinking this whole
We changed our strategy this year. It was about picking winners.
Yeah, don't be silly.
So we have Arizona plus 6.5, even though we don't mind the money line bet on this one either, because I think Arizona could win this outright. But this is just the smarter bet.
Yep.
Instead of betting 2. I would have no problem doing the money line either. Just doing 2 just doesn't.
And we're not up enough that we should be swinging our dicks around.
No, we're batting 500.
Yep.
Are we not? We're 16-1, I believe, after last week.
Yeah, we've essentially paid the VIG.
Yeah.
On our bets.
Yeah. So we're down about, what, $15 maybe?
Yeah, not even that, I don't think.
Yeah. So we've got Arizona plus 6.5 at Seattle. $10 pays $19.09. All right.
And we took New England.
New England, okay. We're paying a price on that, too. More than normal. So we have New England minus 6.5 at home against the Lions from Detroit. $10 pays $18.69.
All right.
So you want to give us a recap, Aruli?
Yeah. After much debate this week, it's a fun week, we have taken New England minus 6.5 at home against the Lions. 10 pays $18.69. We have taken Arizona plus 6.5 at Seattle. 10 pays $19.09. And we have taken Dallas on the road, laying 3 against the New York Giants. In another game in the New Jersey Swamps, 10 pays $18.
All right. So we're sticking. Okay, when we've had success, I'm just saying, we've gone road team. If you go back and look, remember we did the Road Warriors theme, and then we did like a couple of weeks in a row. I think when our 3-0 weeks were road teams, road team dominant anyway. So I'm not adverse to where our picks are this week.
But anything can happen.
Yeah, look at Denver last week. All right, if you want to check out our podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Our personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And that was our pick show for week 12.
I got nothing.
Generous fucking gambler.